What if your body isn't attacking itself? And everything you've been told about multiple sclerosis is missing something important? Because if that's true, then the real question becomes, what is your body actually responding to? And once you start asking that question, you can't unsee it. In my last video, we talked about the possibility that MS might not be purely autoimmune. And I know that idea alone can feel uncomfortable because for years we've been told the same thing. Your immune system is confused, your body is malfunctioning, it's attacking itself. But what if your body isn't confused at all? What if it's actually responding to something real? It's just something we haven't fully identified yet. Think about that for a second. Your immune system is not weak. It's not random. It's not careless. It is incredibly intelligent. It recognizes patterns, it detects threats, it responds to all kinds of things to keep you alive. So the idea that it would just randomly decide to destroy your body, to destroy itself, doesn't fully line up with how it was designed. But that idea that it's reacting to something it believes is a threat, that changes everything. There's a growing conversation around what's called the infectious trigger theory. And this doesn't mean there's one simple answer. It'd be nice if there was, wouldn't it? It doesn't mean that. It means there may be triggers, things like viruses that may stay dormant inside your body for a very long time, or bacteria that doesn't fully clear, or chronic low-level infections, and even environmental exposures that stress the immune system. Some researchers have even explored connections between MS and infections like Epstein-Barr virus, which is incredibly common. In fact, most people have been exposed to it at some point in their lives. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone develops MS. So the question becomes, why do some bodies react differently than others? It makes me think of this story. Well, not story, it was something that I did when I was young. I was only 17, and over the years, because this has now been over 20 years ago, my mom and I have discussed some of the things that possibly could have exposed me to something. And there was this time I thought it'd be super fun to go to a creek near our house. It was on the edge of our neighborhood. It's called Misty Woods. And there was a creek that wrapped all the way around the neighborhood. And I don't really know what fed into it or where it went. So that should have been maybe a concern, but I was 17 and I thought it looked fun because it had rained and it was full of mud. And so I took, at the time, my boyfriend and my little brother and my nephew, and we went mudding. Just put on some shorts, barefoot, digging deep, throwing mud. We had a blast, head to toe. We had to spray off with the hose before we could even go in the house. And shortly after that, I got really sick, like really sick. But I didn't think too much of it because people get sick and it just felt like maybe some type of a flu, and it came and went. But what's interesting about that particular situation is just a few months later that I started to develop symptoms that would eventually lead to what is now MS in my body. Not at the time. It wasn't when I was 17 that I found out about it. It took a few years. I was 20, almost 21, when I got the official correct diagnosis. But I bring up that story just to share that one situation that could have exposed me to something possibly in the creek because I don't know where the water came from other than the rain. But as far as cleanliness, I don't know if it was good or bad. Um, so I want to go on and talk about. I'm sorry. I'm filming from home today. All right, come on, script, Roxy. This is my dog. Come here. Her name is Roxy. You're going to mess everything up. Isn't she sweet? She's a Great Dane. All right, let me let her out real quick. All right, go ahead. Go. Okay, let me make sure we're still on track here. Okay, all is well. So let's continue on. All right, my next thing, I wanted to simplify the topic in general. And think about it like this. If something is sitting in the body and the immune system senses it, it's going to respond. That's its job. But in the process of trying to protect you, it can create what we call inflammation. Over time, that inflammation can affect the surrounding tissue, including myelin, and the myelin protects your nerves. So instead of this, my body is attacking itself for no reason. It becomes, my body may be responding to something I can't see yet. And when you look at it that way, things start to make more sense. This is why so many people experience flare-ups that seem to come out of nowhere, periods where things calm down, and symptoms that shift or they change over time. It's not random. You may have felt this. It's responsive. Your body is constantly adjusting to what it's dealing with internally, and sometimes it gets overwhelmed. Like I mentioned earlier, I was told in my early 20s that I had MS and to expect complete disability. They saw lesions in my brain and spinal cord, like in the upper region, and told me to prepare for the inevitable. My daughter was just a baby, and I remember thinking, how is this my future? And I had to make a decision. Am I going to accept that my body is broken, or am I going to start learning how to support it? And honestly, I didn't have all the answers. You see me in scrubs, and I worked in a clinic, and I am a nutritionist, and I am certified now. But at the time, rewind back, I didn't have the answers. And honestly, even now, I still don't have all the answers. I'm not a fairy godmother, but I did start paying attention and I did start learning. And I started to see patterns and recognized within these patterns there were triggers. And the triggers were what made things worse and or what helped. And I began to see something very differently. Because when you stop seeing your body as the enemy, everything about how you approach healing begins to shift. You stop asking, how do I shut this down? And you start asking, what is my body trying to handle? That one shift changes everything. This is where we start focusing on support, not perfection, not extremes, support. Things like reducing inflammation through food or supporting your nervous system so you're not stuck in constant stress. Getting your body the nutrients it actually needs to function and removing things that are overwhelming your system. And this isn't about doing everything all at once. It's about starting somewhere and being consistent, because consistency is what your body responds to. And this is exactly why I created a simple step-by-step way to do this, because I know how overwhelming it can be. I know how it can feel trying to piece it all together all on your own. If you do want something that you can actually follow at your own pace, hold in your hands, you can find that in the description below. There's a link. You can order the book that I've written in multiple formats, not ebook, paperback, or hardback. All available at different price points and whatever's convenient for you, because this is just the beginning of the conversation. Because understanding this is what opens the door to everything else. And in the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I do daily to support my body in a way that's realistic, sustainable, and actually doable in real life. Because your body may not be broken. I really don't think it is. It may just be responding to something that you haven't been shown how to support yet. And once you understand that, everything starts to change. Subscribe. Check out the next video. I'll see you soon.